Anyway, I'm gonna be talking about the rise of Nimrod, and it is Obama the powder by the Antichrist. So, salam to everyone. So we know these people are very symbolic, right? So we're gonna end all speculation um, to if he's powered by the Antichrist. All right. So, um, all right. So we know these people are symbolic, right? So I'm gonna be breaking this man's name down from the Bible and the Quran. Now we ain't already gonna go into all the other evidence that we know we got against him to question his presidency. All right. So we just gonna stick to this focus that I'm on here. I could touch on many subjects with this dude. All right. So I'm just gonna break down the biblical significance of the rise of Nimrod, and if Obama is powered by the Antichrist and not the Antichrist himself. All right. So, um, so these people are very symbolic. So the evidence shows to be unclear that the evidence to the unlearned viewers of Luciferian, Egyptian, Roman, and Greek symbolism. So in the evidence I present to you, you might not understand. All right. So some of the evidence you might not I present to you, you might not understand. All right. um, Some conspiracy theorists believe that Obama is a clone of Akhenaten, but there's no evidence or proof of that. That Obama is a clone of Akhenaten, and the people are following the wicked ways of the rulers of ritual traditions and pagan religions of old. Okay, so they follow Horus, Osiris, Nimrod, etc., and many more. All right. So, the prime minister um, calls Obama Pharaoh. All right. So what did the Pharaoh do? The Pharaoh uh, united different religious sects and established himself as God. Now, um, we already broke down the 7 heads and 10 horns on how um, the UN nations and the GOP and whatever, they're all part of this and the NAFTA from 1996. They're all part of the global union, which is basically the new world order. So he basically is the president of the new world order. All right, he first president of the new world order. But that's like a whole other lesson. I mean, from his lineage, so on and so forth. But anyway, so that's what a pharaoh does. So now with the clone stuff, with the him might be acting, we don't know. All right, so there's no evidence, but we do know they have stem cell research. We do know Egyptians mummified their bodies the last thousands and thousands of years. What did they? Why was they doing that? They must knew that there was some type of technology that was going to come in the future or a later date that they didn't have at that time to reincarnate these pharaohs of old, to bring back the spiritual war of old. All right, so because they know, the return is coming and the chosen are waking up, you know. So, I mean, is that why they got CERN and stems, or they searching for dark matter and all this other type of stuff? Why are they opening portals and stargates and doing all this stuff? Why is there 50 different space confederations? You know what I'm saying? Like, so, I mean, it's something going on. But anyway, so, so yeah, the prime minister of Israel calls Obama Pharaoh. All right, so we already know their ties to Israel, the Ashkenazi Jews, the Zionists that control the world and manipulate the world, brainwash the world, so on and so forth. So if you don't know about the protocols of Zion, I think you should go get that book. It's wrote by the Jews that for their plan for world domination. So that's why Hitler was at them, because he knew the protocols of Zion. And he knew the true children of Israel were us. All right, us Negroes, so-called black men. All right, in America. Um, so anyway, the Pharaoh united different sects, all right, religions, to establish himself as God. Now I'm gonna play this video of Obama um, exalting himself as God. All right. So I'm gonna play this video real quick from Obama himself. Um, so it's called. See if it plays. So give me 1 second, y'all. So now it won't let me play it. It did play it earlier. But it's called Obama refers himself to God. Alright. So it's by Anonymous. So you can look that up on YouTube. I just played it a little while ago, but now for some odd reason it won't play. So you can go watch that video on your time. I'm gonna just get back to the lesson real quick. Alright. So now it would take someone today of Islamic, Christian, or Jewish, fake Jew, Zionist background to be able to initiate peace talks in the Middle East. So Obama is called Pharaoh. Alright, so Pharaoh is a god of peace only to those who submit to his rule. So the Pharaoh is only a god of peace to those who submit to his rule. And he's a god of war to anyone that opposes it. Alright. So Nimrod was known as Osiris in Egypt. Alright, so he was the first typification typification, whatever, I don't know how you say that word, um, of the Antichrist. So the Bible says Satan fell like Barak. Alright, so it's called Baraq in Hebrew. Alright, Barak. Okay, so in Hebrew that word means lightning. So it says Satan fell like lightning. Okay, so that's the first part of his name. Alright, so Nimrod means, because you know when you translate the text back to Hebrew, Greek, and Latin, because those are the first languages the Bible was written in, was Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. So when you go back to the root word and the root language, Hebrew has a meaning. Every Hebrew name has a meaning, a name, a sound pitch, a syllable, and a number behind it that means something. All right. So Nimrod means the subduer of the leopard. So if you go to Bible verse, the Bible verse is about leopard. We go to go, Brandy, go. All right. So when you go to the Bible verses, Revelation 13:1 and 2. It says, I stood upon the sand of the sea. So the sea means the people. Alright, so when you translate to the Strong's Concordance of the Bible, that's the dictionary of the Bible, and you go back to the original words, the sea represents the people. It means the people. Alright. So it doesn't mean the actual literal sea. Alright, so some things, yeah, the actual literal sea is in significance or in a geographic location or is mentioned, but you gotta know, that's where discernment comes in. So you gotta know when it's talking about the literal sea or when it's talking about the physical. I mean the spiritual sea, all right, or the you know the different areas the Bible touches in, because it's not just a literal book, it's a spiritual book, it's a history book, it's a genetic book, it's a book on many things. All right. So first, it's a metaphysical book. It says, and I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast having 7 heads and 10 horns. So the 7 heads and 10 horns are UN nations, and then the 10 horns are like America, Canada, Mexico is one horn. You know, and then the list goes on. I already did that in the breakdown of the 7 heads, 10 horns. Go watch that on your own time. All right. So it says upon his head at 7 heads, 10 horns, and upon his 10 crowns. Okay. He saw a beast with 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns upon his head, and the names of blasphemy. Alright, so it says, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as of a bear. Okay, and his mouth was as of a lion. Alright, and it says, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat. Okay, and his great authority. So if you go back and look, I got another thing on note on Obama on my old page that's titled Obama took his oath at the replica of Satan's seat. Alright, so he took his oath at the throne of Zeus. Alright, so that's Satan's seat. Alright, so if you look that up in Greece and look that up, Satan's seat, Satan's throne, he took a, if you look at the Denver Stadium, at the replica, it's the replica of Satan's throne. They got it in the museum. So if you look that up, you can see what that looks like. Alright. So he took his oath at Satan's throne with a white horse. Behold the pale horse, white horse above the stadium at Denver Stadium in 2008. Alright. So, and that's facts. Alright. So people always say, "Oh, you crazy?" And then them is facts, man. Like, we all seen this shit. We all was there, nigga. Like, what's wrong with y'all brains? Like, y'all that far gone? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. But anyway, let me see what else we got. Mind me, I'm looking rough, man. It's quarantine fro, man. I don't care about nothing right now. You know what I mean? We getting this truth out and getting my business off the ground. That's all I care about right now. And my kids and things like that, you know, regular stuff. But alright, so let me get alright, so boom. So he had power, you know what I'm saying? He gave him his power, his seat, and his authority, great authority. So Obama had great authority. Like, we ain't even gonna get into the yes we can, reverse tense, thank you Satan, and the chance, and just all the reckless nonsense. We ain't gonna get into all that. But you know, it is what it is. So it says now in these verses, the sea, like I was telling you, means people. Alright, so not the literal ocean. This verse talks about the beast rising from the sea. He rose from the sea of people. Like, this nigga came out of nowhere. Didn't nobody even know who he was. This nigga just came out of nowhere. He from Chicago. Like, come to find out, this nigga was born in Indonesia, lived in Hawaii. He's not even, he wasn't even born in America. So, I mean, you become the president, that's treason already, off top. Like, so, it's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, man. You just, basically, they just ripped up the Constitution in your face and said, fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do what the fuck we want to do. Basically, that's what they did, man. You know, and black people voting in didn't even know what they voting for. They just voting because he's black, man. Just because you black, that don't mean shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, blacks sold us into slavery. And when we was into slavery, there was already blacks over here in this land. And then they was free. And then there was other blacks that came over here, Africans, that was free, that sold us to the slavery, that started congressional organizations over here in America while we were slaves. So don't come at me with that black shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't mean nothing. Especially, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. How many y'all niggas done sold y'all people out for a check? Like for real. So, man, don't come at me with that black shit. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, and that black is a crayon color, nigga. It's not a nationality. It's no language. It has no heritage. You know what I'm saying? Neither is white. That's a social status. The white people know that. That's why they laughing at your dumb ass. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, boy, the people that you call white, they know that. And then the educated blacks that know white is a social status know that. You know what I'm saying? But the so-called blacks, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, that's just our mind frame, man, when we conditioned to think. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so it says the beast which I saw like it to a leopard, Uh, so his ways are like unto Nimrod. All right. So Nimrod's ambition was to establish a world empire. To establish these two things, or to establish these two things, to establish that these two things were needed. All right. So first, he needed a center, a unity. All right. So a city, headquarters, and a second, second, a motive for encouragement or and inspiration of his followers. All right, so first he needed to establish the center point, unity of a city, a headquarters, which is his base. All right, so then second, move encouragement to inspire inspiration to his followers. So this later was supplied in the "Let's Make Us a Name" in the Bible in Genesis 11 and 14. You can read that. They built the Tower of Babel. It was inordinate desire for fame. All right, so they built the Tower of Babel, kind of just like the Twin Towers. You know what I'm saying? Same. It was a replica. All right, of the Tower of Babel, or maybe that's the one tower in Egypt. I don't know, or in Paris, or wherever they built all these towers at. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they all coincide with each other. So, anyway. Um, that built us up a tower. Alright, so in the desire for fame. So the first law that the Pharaoh passed in the Bible, you can read this in Genesis 11 and 4, and then in Exodus 1 and 11. Alright, so the first law Obama passed, the first laws that the Pharaoh passed was abortion. Alright, so what was he trying to do? He's trying to kill all the first born of the Hebrew boys, right? Because he didn't want Moses to be born. One of the pharaohs. He knew Moses was coming. They knew Christ was coming. They didn't want him to be born. So they was killing all the firstborn of the Hebrew slaves or peasants or whatever the hell you want to call them to them. You know what I'm saying? These people that was in their land, because they knew that if they were growing, we was multiplying at a so alarming rate. They knew that we was outnumbering them, and if we rose up, we was gonna take Egypt over, and that Pharaoh didn't want that. You know what I'm saying? But see, he didn't know. The one Pharaoh didn't know that Moses was his grandson. All right, or wasn't his grandson, because his daughter lied to him. You know what I'm saying? And act like she could see the child, because he wouldn't have seen his daughter like that. You know what I'm saying? Because he's doing fair. He Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So that's what happened. So now what did the first law Obama do when he got into office? First law he did was pass abortion, not only through the United States legally, but throughout the whole world. All right. So he passed abortion laws throughout the worldwide. All right. So that's the first thing he did when he got in office. Just like the first thing this Pharaoh did was pass. He wanted to kill all the Hebrew boys, so he orchestrated. He told him to kill all the Hebrew firstborn children, if they're males. All right. All right. So. Yeah, so then you can read Exodus 1 and 11. All right, so the new Pharaoh wanted to control all the treasury, right, and the houses or banks. After you read that verse, I don't have my Bible. Matter of fact, let me grab one. I got one in here. No, I don't got one here. Hold on, I'll look it up real quick. Shit. Alright, so let me Google these Bible verses first, man. I'll do the Exodus one. Exodus 1:11. Yeah, right there. Alright. Alright, so it said, Yeah, that's a lot to read. Alright, so I'm gonna read it anyway. Alright, it says, now these are the names of the children of Israel. Alright, Israel and there which came into Egypt. Um, every man in his household came with Jacob. Alright, so Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, okay, Zebulun, Benjamin, Dan, Nativity, Gad, Asher, alright, um, and all the souls came out of the lions of Jacob, where 70 souls. Alright, so for Joseph was in Egypt already. Alright, so they remember they sold Joseph in Egypt as his brother sold him out. You know what I'm saying? To get slaughtered. You know, they sold him into slavery. Alright. So it says in Joseph, so for Joseph was in Egypt. Alright, so and Joseph died, and all the brethren and all that generation. Okay, so all the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them. All right, so it says now they rose up a new king over Egypt. Okay, which knew Joseph not. So remember when Egypt was in a drought before Joseph came to Egypt, and then once Joseph got sold into slavery, he got gained likeness with the Pharaoh, and the Pharaoh made him his right hand over the land. He was overseer of all of Egypt. Hebrew was Israelite. Okay, and that's when Egypt flourished. Okay, anytime they oppressed the Hebrews, you know what I'm saying, Egypt fell. Just like Abraham told him, man, blessed those who bless my people and curse those who curse my people. So if you curse the people, he gonna curse the land. Period. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, um, so it says, and he said unto him, behold, the children of Israel are more mighty than we. This is the Pharaoh talking. All right, the Pharaoh that knew Joseph not. Okay, because the other Pharaoh made Joseph the overseer. But see, Joseph had died. And once Joseph died, the new Pharaoh came in and he knew Joseph not. So he seen his people like, what? Whoa, hold on. This the enemy. You know what I'm saying? That's how he thought. Okay. So he said, come, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. Okay, so it said, hold on. So it says, he said unto his people, behold, the children of Israel grow mighty. It says, and come, let us deal with them wisely, lest they multiply, and come to pass that when they're falling out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. All right. So, so it says, therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. Okay, and yet built Pharaoh's treasured cities, Pithom and Ramesses. Okay, so um, so you see they afflicted them. All right. And he told him, he said, come let us deal wisely with them. Remember they set up crafty counsel against us. You know what I'm saying? He said, let's deal wisely with them that they multiply and come and they might join forces with our enemies and take us out. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they was thinking. Alright? Just like America thinking. You know what I'm saying? They know, man, if the blacks and browns come together and the white people come together, man, they finna take us out. You know what I'm saying? They finna overthrow the government. You know what I'm saying? They don't want that shit. Alright? They do not want that shit. So, alright. So I'm going to get back to my thread. Alright. So I read Exodus 1 and 1 through 11. Alright. So now it says the Pharaoh wanted to control the treasury, houses, and banks. Alright. So we already seen after he wanted to kill all the Hebrews and shit, firstborns and things like that, he wanted to take over the treasury. He wanted to take over the houses and banks. You know what I'm saying? He wanted it all. Alright. So what did Obama do when he came president? With all the bailouts, alright, and Obama is now in control of all the banks. So once Obama started doing all them bailouts, he became in control of all the banks. That's why his whole administration was Wall Street and bankers. You know what I'm saying? The Obama administration was pretty much all Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? So that's how he had his power. All right. So whoever controls the money, flow of money controls the world. Whoever controls the food controls the world, right? All right. So yeah. So with all the bailouts, third thing the Obama administration did was it was almost all Wall Street. All right. So the third thing the Pharaoh did was control the work schedule of the people, and they were allowed to own. All right. So he controlled the work schedule of the people, just like we go to these jobs and they got the calendars. They tell us when to go to school. They tell us when to get up. They tell us, and you know what I'm saying. They tell us where to do everything. You know what I'm saying. So, um, so you control the work schedules. All right. So the third thing Pharaoh did was control the work. Now, where do you think this is leading? All right. So the Nazi symbol is the rising sun. All right. There's symbols of Obama campaign thing was the rising sun. All right. Just without the swastika. All right. But the swastika it comes to find out it's an Ethiopian uh, hieroglyph. All right. That means totally opposite of what the white supremacists use it for. All right. So the rising sun is a symbol. Was Obama was just without the swastika. So like in Genesis 47 to 15, it talks about the money, the money system. All right. So in Genesis 47 to 15, the money system in Egypt began to fail. Okay. Genesis 47 to 14, the money was collected from circulation and given to Pharaoh. Sounds like a bailout to me. Does that sound like a bailout? Sounds like a bailout. Alright. So, Genesis 47, 20 and 24 says, we read, the people are willing to become slaves to the system as long as the government fed them. Just like today, government feed us. And then the more you take your government system, the more you get down on yourself, the more you accept everything the government has to offer. Now, now basically, you're dependent on their system, and you feel like you can't live without their system. You know what I'm saying? So that's another form of control. If you control how they eat, you control when they eat, you control, like, just like in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? You seen the Kodak meme. You know what I'm saying? Like, looking at them crazy. Like, come on, man, I'm Moses, man. Like God told us, look, man, leave this land, go over here where it's fruitful. We got plenty of food. You got all the food. You free. You know what I'm saying? You got your own land. I'ma part the way. These niggas don't want to go to eating deliciously. To, man, we ain't got no food. I want to go back to Pharaoh and master and slave all day for pennies. Cause we ain't got no food. What we gonna eat, nigga? I'm about to lead you to a food to feed you, your family, and the next 5 generations. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, we gotta get together, man, as a people, man. Like, anyway, um, so that's what the so it says, we the people, they were willing to become slaves to the system as long as the government fed them. It says eventually it led to the plagues of Egypt. So it says, my people, the children of Israel, were in the land of Egypt during the plagues, but divinely protected. After the plagues of Egypt, they all left to the promised land. All right, so it says later, they were forced out of the land by the Roman Empire. You can read that in Samuel 9:1, Samuel 15:17, Samuel 15:20 through 23, Samuel 18:10, Samuel 19 and 22, Samuel 19 and 24, Samuel 19 and 9 through 10. Okay, instead of depending on God, their dependence was in a king. All right, so their system not only failed them, but it worked against them. All right, so they put their faith into this king, into this man, instead of putting it into the divine creator. Okay, and within themselves. Um, so not only did the system not fail them, it actually worked against them. Ain't that a coincidence? Um, right? No. All right. So Luke 10 and 18 says talks again about Satan fell like lightning. Okay, like Barak, like I was telling you. Okay, so it says in this verse, can be talking about two different ways, or you can be talking about two ways to look up the word heaven in the Strong's Concordance. It can mean the heaven of God. It also can mean heights or high places or dominion of Satan himself. So that's what I'm saying. In the Bible, in certain places, certain words mean certain things. Like you got two different types of versions. You got the marriageable version, woman of marriageable age, and then you got the actual literal version. Okay, so you got to know in the Hebrew text when to put it in and what's concerning what. All right, just like English, you know what I'm saying. So if you haven't studied that, then you wouldn't know these things. All right, so it's just like English class. You gotta perfect it to understand it. It takes years to practice and learning to get your grammar and get your punctuation and get all this right, right? So it's the same thing with Hebrew, okay? Except for this is our original language. All right, so it makes more sense to me. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so it says Satan felt like Barak. Okay, so you can find that in the Strong's Concordance. So not only did it mean also the height and high places. All right, so like I said, we wrestle against spiritual weaknesses and wicked rulers and spirit. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood. We wrestle against principalities, spirit wickedness in high places. All right, so these people that's controlled by these spirits are in the high seats, the high places. All right, so they're always in a position of power. All right, so it can mean two different things. All right, so it can also mean heaven of God, or it can mean the high or higher places and dominion of Satan itself. So in that reference, in that verse, is referring to the height and high places or dominion of Satan himself in that verse, because it says Satan fell like rock. So it's already distinguished that we're talking about Satan. All right, so Luke 8 and 5. It says, "In the birds" means, so if you read that, in this, the birds, they represent, it means the demonic realm. So when they say, it's probably the verse when it's talking about flying, like the birds or the eagle, whatever. I can't remember which one it was. I'm not going to look it up right now. So if you read that, it's talking about, that refers to the demonic realm. All right, so the principality is the air. All right, so the air means the realm of Satan. All right, so Luke 10 and 18. If Yahshua was meaning the heaven of God, it would be the Shamayim of God. All right, so that's the Hebrew pronunciation. But that's not the word that they use in the context of that verse. All right, so, but according to the context of the verse, it was referring to Satan, to the height or high places. All right, not to the Shamayim of God. Okay, like in Isaiah 14:12 and 19, or Isaiah 14 and 14. These words are spoken are like in Isaiah 14. So in Isaiah 14 and 14, it said these words are spoken of Satan himself in height. In the Strong's Concordance, that's number 1116, meaning high places, also translated by whom Christ protected. Alright. So it got cut off. Um, so also in the Quran, it stated that a tall, dark figure would rise from the west, and his name would be Hussein. This is in the Quran. Alright, so now I'm finna go to the Quran and then back to the Bible. Alright, so in the Quran it stated that the tall, dark figure would come out the west named Hussein. So Barack fell like lightning. Alright, Quran calls him Hussein. So what's his name? Barack Hussein Obama, right? The Quran calls him Hussein. And the Bible talks about height or high places as Bama in Hebrew. So Bama in Hebrew means heights or high places. So his name stands for Satan felt like Barack. Satan felt like lightning. The tall dark figure from the west. Okay. Who is Hussein, that's in a high place as Bama. Okay? So, Satan felt like rock, tall dark figure west is the height or high place of Satan. Right? I don't know what's going on, man. Are these people playing with us or what? So, it says put them all together, you get Barack Hussein Bama. That's the Hebrew. That was the Hebrew text. All right. So, or English is Obama. All right. So now on September 11, 2012, Barack Obama said out his mouth, "Be still and let and know that I am God," exalting himself by reading out of Psalms 46, but in the sense of his Freemason Luciferian doctrine. Okay, Revelation 9:11, it says, "And they had a king over them, which in the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew tongue is Abaddon." Abaddon, yeah, Abaddon. But in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. Okay. So Revelation 9:11, King James, it says, "And they had a king over them, which the angels of the bottomless pit." Alright, so now it says the symbolism. So there's a video. Um, it's a symbolic, the symbolism behind the Olympic ritual. Alright, so if you go watch that video on YouTube, if it's still available, I'm not gonna play it. Alright, so I was interrupted. Anyway, so it says the symbol behind the Olympic. Hold on, man.